Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's mini flow. This month, we're doing a floor yoga flow. So for those of you that come to our Tuesday night class, you're very familiar with floor yoga. That's what we do every Tuesday night. We just simply stay on the floor for the entire class. In this case, it's a mini flow, so about 15 minutes or so, working on stretches and poses that allow us to stay on the floor. So this is a nice, relaxing kind of practice. It allows us to, as I mentioned, stretch out the body. If you have any injuries or some limited mobility, a lot of times this is a practice that is available to you. If you're not quite to the point where you want to go to a chair yoga class, which again has a lot of benefits too, but you want to be more on your mat, on the floor, doing some of the poses that you might do in a normal, I use that in quotes, class. This is a way to incorporate some of those. So I'm going to lead you through a mini flow, so a real short version of some of the things that you can incorporate. I'm also going to share as we go through it some things that you could add in on your own. So if you're watching this at home and want to extend it beyond the roughly 15 minutes that this practice will be, you can do so by adding in some things very easily that I'll mention that you're most likely familiar with, that you could add in on your own pretty easily. So with that said, I would invite you to find your seat, get nice and comfortable. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll begin as we always do in class, getting grounded, centered, finding our breath. We'll just softly close our eyes, letting the arms be heavy on our lap, relaxing into the breath, letting the awareness come to the tip of the nostril so you can feel that breath as it flows in and back out. And every time we exhale, allowing the body to decompress just a little bit more, softening muscles, letting go of tightness, tension, stress, worries, whatever that might be happening for you today in your mind and in your body. Relaxing all the muscles of the face, loosening the jaw, softening the throat. Shoulders relaxed down the back. Elbows soft, fingers relaxed. Feel those sits bones settling into the ground beneath you as you relax your low back, your hips, and your buttocks. Relax the knees and the calves, and relax the toes. Feel that tightness and tension melting off the body. Feel the body letting go of all that tightness, all the stress, all the tension. Just feel the rise and fall of the belly with the breath. Take a nice, big, deep breath in and sigh it out. Again, releasing a little bit more of that tightness and tension in the body. And on your next inhale, let's go ahead and sweep the arms up, reaching out through the fingertips. We bring our palms together at the top. Exhaling hands, they come down and rest right in front of our heart. And we'll pause here for a moment to give us the opportunity to set our intention for the practice today. Our intention is our purpose for being here, identifying what it is we need or what we hope to accomplish. There's no right or wrong. It is entirely personal to you in this moment. Just take a moment to silently set that intention in your mind. And when you have that intention set, you can let those hands float back down, come down to the lap again. Once again, relaxing shoulders, sitting up nice and tall through the crown of our head, and we'll start to do some stretches now before we get into our poses. So let's drop that chin on the exhale. Let the chin come all the way down to the chest. Head is heavy. Feel that stretch down the back of the neck and into the shoulders. Taking nice, gentle breaths here. And on the next inhale, I invite you to lift your eyes up, take your eyes all the way up to the sky, stretching out the throat. And then we'll exhale and bring the head forward again, eyes forward in their normal, natural position. Shoulders again, just always checking in with the shoulders, making sure they're relaxed. We're going to lengthen through the crown of the head again. This time we're going to exhale and drop the left ear over toward the left shoulder, opening up the right side of the neck. Feel that stretch. And if you really want to add to that stretch, you can take the right hand down to the ground and let the fingers do a little bit of walking away from the body. You'll feel that added stretch. Many of us are really tight in the shoulder and neck area, either because we hold our stress there in general or because we sit at computers or sit in the car driving for long periods of time, tightening up those muscles. These are always really good stretches you can do anytime, anywhere. Releasing that hand if it's out there. Then we're going to exhale and let that chin roll down to the chest. Once again, letting the head be heavy. We'll take a big, deep inhale here. And exhale it out. And then gently inhale the eyes up. Again, lengthening through the crown of the head. We'll do the other side now. Exhaling right ear to right shoulder. Again, check in with those shoulders, make sure they're relaxed as we open up the left side of the neck now. And just noticing how this side feels to the other side. For me, this is always my tighter side. Might be different for you, but just observing how this feels compared to the other side. And again, that left hand can come down to the ground and go for a little walk if that's comfortable for you. Exhaling out and releasing that hand. And again, we'll come out of this the same way we did on the other side, just exhaling and letting that chin roll down toward the chest. Letting the head be heavy. We'll take another deep breath here. And exhale it out. Then inhaling, eyes forward. We'll bring the hands off the lap. Let's just roll the shoulders a few times. Bring them up and back and around. Squeezing those shoulder blades together on the back side as they come around, just really massaging all the upper muscles in the back here, shoulder area. And then switch directions. Bring them up and forward. And as we do that, the shoulder blades are going to separate. Just getting things nice and loose. And then we'll relax, bring the hands back down, resting on the lap. Coming into some cat-cow to warm up the spine, now coming down the back with all the muscles. Inhaling, we're going to push the chest forward, squeeze those shoulder blades together and look up to the sky. Exhale, round the back, drop the chin, pull that belly button into the chest, into the spine, excuse me. Drop the chin to the chest, that's what I want to say. Inhale, open up and look up. Exhale, round that back and come down into that angry cat pose. Follow your breath. We'll do this a few more times, just again to warm up the spine and muscles in the back area. There are lots of warm-up poses you can do. You can continue to do some of these. This will be the last one that we do, other than one little forward fold while we're sitting here in a moment. But beyond that, you can add in extra warm-up poses if you feel that you need that, if you're doing this practice at home. Let's do one more cat-cow each direction. Stretch it out. And then come back to a nice tall spine. So let's inhale, arms up, reaching for the sky. Exhale, hinge forward. Bring the arms down to the ground, let them rest, and then fold forward as far down as you can. If your head reaches the ground, great. If it does not, that's okay. You might be up here, and that's all right. You might be up here, and that's all the farther you can go down. You might be up here, wherever you are, just roll all the way down, wherever is comfortable. Keeping the sits bones on the ground. Feeling that stretch in the hips, low back, down into the buttocks perhaps, and then slowly inhale and walk yourself up. And as I mentioned, that's going to be it for the warm-ups that we're going to do at this point, because we want to get through some poses in this floor yoga session. But you can, of course, pause the video, do a few more stretches if you feel like you really need them. I'm going to come off of the cushion I'm sitting on and move that out of the way for a moment here and stretch my legs out and find my sits bones. So I want to warm up the legs a bit more, but also get into my first pose, which is a seated forward fold. So we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, rounding the back, relaxing down, just kind of curling into the legs. Exhale, slowly come up. We're going to do a couple of these just to kind of engage the legs and warm up before we get into our full forward fold. So inhale, This time, less curvature of the spine, hinging a bit more, seeing if we can reach a little farther with the hands to get a little bit more warmed up. Exhale, roll up. Last one, inhale up. Making sure you're on those sits bones. Exhale, hinge, see where the hands can go. Let them fall wherever they are. They might be the ankles, the shins, the knees, the toes, the feet, wherever they are. Just reach. Leading with the heart, keeping the spine nice and tall. Breathing and releasing, rolling up. Beautiful. All right, let's bring that right foot in. Adjust your sits bones a little bit here. Inhale, arms up. This time we're going to come down over just the left leg. Again, leading with your heart. Hands are going to fall wherever they may. You might rest them at the ankles, shins, knee, wherever is comfortable for you. Breathing. Exhale, roll up. Let's switch sides. And again, there's lots of things we could do with our legs set up like this. We're just doing a quick mini flow here, so it's abbreviated. But again, if you know other poses, we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward on this side. If you know other poses, you can get into gate pose. You can do a little bit of an opening with the twisting and things like that. Anything that feels good to the body, you can add into this mini flow, pausing the video at any time if you want to extend the practice at home. But these are just some basics for our mini flow. Exhale, come on up. Let's bring both feet in now. Come into our butterfly, Baddha Konasana. Sitting up nice and tall, just letting gravity do its thing with our knees and our legs. And we're going to sit up nice and tall and hinge forward, adding to that stretch to whatever degree is comfortable. It's later in the day for me, so I'm a little bit more warmed up. If you're doing this first thing in the morning, things might be a little bit more tight. So just honor the body wherever it is. And exhaling, rolling up. Come on up. We're going to come back to easy seated pose for a moment and incorporate a couple of things for the hands and the wrists as well. Another really nice thing to do. So we'll start with making fists with the hands, rolling them around, getting into the wrists, both directions. You can also interlace the fingers and do sort of this weaving and bobbing. Gets into the wrists a little bit as well, forearms. Excellent. Let's bring our left hand up, palm facing out. Right hand's going to come up, cross the fingers, and just gently pull back, stretching them just gently in the opposite direction, what they normally go. Releasing that, coming down to the thumb, giving a gentle pull. And then we'll come over to the other hand and do the same thing, starting with the fingers, pulling back gently. Releasing, coming down to the thumb. And then you can release and just give them a nice little wiggle. All right. We're going to come, I'm going to swing around here lengthwise on the mat. There's a lot of things you can do on the floor here, one of which, if you've come to any of our classes, you know we do a lot with a strap. You can have a strap doing some leg work. That's always a nice thing to do in a floor yoga class as well. We're going to make our way down to our back, working the abs just a little bit as we get down there. Again, if we were doing a full length class, we'd do a little more with the abs as we got down to the ground. But again, you can always pause and do more ab work before we get into the stuff on the ground. So we're going to gently lower ourselves down. I'm going to keep my feet grounded, knees slightly bent. You can always hold on to the legs if you need that support, if you have any low back issues. You can have your arms out as well or overhead, again, wherever feels best for you. You want to sit up nice and tall, relax the shoulders, and engage the core. So we don't want to hold our breath as we're going down, but we want the muscles of the core to be tight. So we're going to go back just ever so slightly and call that 1. Take it back a little bit more for 2. A little bit more for 3. Every time we go back, we're just checking in with our spine, our shoulders, our abs, making sure everything feels good here. Take it back now halfway to 4. Make sure you're not sitting on your shirt in a weird way like I am. Relax the shoulders. Take it back a little bit more to 5. Now it starts to get a little dicey, so just tighten up. If you need to grab the legs, go ahead. Take it back a little more for 6. Keep that core nice and tight. A little bit more for 7. Now we're almost at the ground, but not quite. And then we go one more time. Shoulders come to the ground. Relax into the floor. We'll just take a moment to rest here. Feel the shoulders and the spine almost melting into the ground as they start to relax. Let's walk the knees closer to the body. We're going to bring the right ankle up on the left knee. Do a little stretching of the hips here. For this, you can use either your hands or you can use your strap. It's up to you. But we're going to come behind that left leg. I'm going to use my hands, but you could easily use a strap. And just pull that left leg in toward the body. And as I do that, I feel a nice stretch on that right hip. I'm pulling in as close as I can, and I'm just breathing. And the one thing that's nice about the exhale is the exhale always gives you an opportunity to maybe, in many cases, bring it a little closer. Come into the pose a little more deeply, but always listening to the body. At some point, your body's gonna be like, nope, I'm good. That's enough. We'll just leave it there. We just breathe. And again, this is a mini flow, so we're not going to stay here super long. You could stay longer if you wanted to. But we'll exhale, release that left leg, come down to the ground, uncross the right leg, and switch sides. Bring that left ankle to the right knee. And again, with the strap or the hand, this time behind the right leg, pull it in. Pull it in, breathe into the stretch in that left hip now. Upper body is just relaxing into the ground. Use those exhales to bring the stretch a little deeper if it's available. And again, we'll exhale and release, let go of that leg, let it come down. And we're gonna uncross the legs, then bring both knees into the chest. Because again, this is a mini flow and we're very quickly running out of time for our mini flow. So we're just gonna do a little bit of a rolling motion here. Hands on the knees, rolling around, almost like you're stirring a pot. Your knees are like the spoon in the pot and you're just stirring something around. A nice circular massage for the low back. And then switch direction. Let's do that same thing going the other way. While we're here, we could also do a wind reliever. We could do a happy baby, lots of things we could do here. We're gonna come to stillness though, and we're gonna come into a supine twist. I always like to end a class with a twist, kind of wringing out the body from the practice. So we're gonna bring our arms out into a T formation, shoulder height, knees are in toward the chest, and we're gonna be dropping the knees over to the right at first and coming into a twist. And you might have to adjust a little bit so you can get into the twist comfortably. You could always put props between the knees or under the legs, wherever you might need them. Shoulders stay on the ground. Since our knees are off to the right, our eyes are either going to look at the ceiling or they're going to look over to the left, whichever is most comfortable for your neck. And again, we'll just take a few breaths here, letting the low back enjoy this twist, this stretch. So just a couple more breaths. And then we'll come into the same stretch on the other side. Inhaling. Let's bring those knees back up, and you can always put your feet on the ground and take a moment to adjust your spine so you're nice and aligned properly. And we'll bring the knees over, or excuse me, up to the chest and then drop them over to the left. Again, you can, depending on your back and your hips and things like that, sometimes you want to adjust a little bit and almost pick up your body as you turn and twist into the pose so you're comfortable. Shoulders are resting on the ground, and we're going to breathe here a few breaths. Again, observing if one side's a little tighter than the other, because again, that's not unusual. Let's take another breath here. And we're going to inhale the knees back to center. Again, take a moment to realign. Let's stretch the legs out long, arms overhead, nice full body stretch, reaching through fingers and toes, lengthening the body. And releasing. At this point, you could take a nice little Shavasana. You can get yourself comfortable, add a cushion under your knees, add maybe a pillow under your head, eye pillow, blanket, socks, whichever you prefer, whatever feels good to your body. And just relax for a few moments, give yourself a little bit of Shavasana time. So I hope that you enjoyed this little floor yoga activity. Again, there's lots of things you can add in along the way. We didn't even do anything in tabletop or any of those kinds of things. We can get into those kinds of poses as well. Lots of options when it comes to a floor yoga routine. So hopefully this gives you some ideas. It's a nice practice for in the evenings or for whenever you're feeling a little bit stiff and want to get a nice stretch before you go on to your day. So thank you very much. Inhale, arms up, hands together, palms to the heart. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.